Hey guys, it's me again. I posted again, and I'm here again. And I know I changed my name again. That fits right in with the little intro that I made. But yeah, I changed my name again. Now I'm Waxing Crescent instead of Crescent Art or Moon Art. If you didn't hear about the last change, I'm really sorry for being inconsistent with my name, but I think I'm going to keep it the way it is. The only reason why I changed it was because Moon Art was really basic and unoriginal, and I felt like Crescent Art was basic too. Not as bad, but still kind of basic. So I don't know. There's nothing wrong with having a basic name. I don't mean that it's bad, but you know, I like to have an original name. And when I get to 100 subscribers, I'm going to be doing a Q&A. So if you have any questions about Wings of Fire, Warrior Cats, or art, you can leave them in the description down below, and I will happily answer them in the Q&A, as long as there are no questions about my personal life, because I like to keep my life outside of YouTube and a life in YouTube. I like to keep them separate. So yeah, any questions, I will happily answer them for my Q&A. So let's get on to the review. Today I will be reviewing Darkness of Dragons by Tui T, Sutherland. And I know this book already came out a while ago, but I just wanted to share my thoughts on it. So let's get right into the review, because this is a long intro. So I really like about this book that you get to kind of see other dragons' backstories that aren't Ghibli. I like it. If you don't really understand, I'll explain it. It's because sometimes when Ghibli's talking to a dragon, like there's one point in the book where he's thinking, oh, this dragon lost the hearing in one of his ears from an explosion near his house. And that's really cool to know. And I was loving Ghibli's point of view throughout the whole book. Like, it was amazing. Because in some dragons' point of view, an example is in Winter's point of view, for Winter Turning, there's some points where he doesn't know stuff about the other tribe. Like, he's thinking, can sea wings see in the dark? I don't know if sea wings can see in the dark. Well, they can see in the dark, and you probably know that if you're a hardcore Wings of Fire fan like me. And even if you don't know it, that's fine. But it was nice to see somebody who knew everything about all the tribes and was on top of everything, and I really liked reading from his perspective. And I liked seeing how he really wanted power and he really wanted other dragons to like him, because he sort of comes off as really confident, but when you get his perspective, he's sort of fleshed out and you get to see that he wants other dragons to like him, and he's not quite as confident as he comes off. And yeah, that's my thoughts on Ghibli. And I like the backstory parts. The backstory parts were really cool, but I wanted to go back to the plot. I'd be like, oh yeah, this backstory is interesting, but what's happening with Darkstalker? What's happening with Turtle? How are things going? How is it working? Is Turtle okay? Is Anemone okay? Is Darkstalker defeated yet? Well, obviously he wouldn't be defeated, but you know what I mean. And the last book ended on such a cliffhanger that I really wanted to know what was going on. So I was kind of disappointed with that, but it was fine. And another thing about Ghibli is it's weird that he kind of likes Cobra. It was also kind of cute and sad, and there was this one part where he saw Sirocco and Rattlesnake, his brother and sister, and Cobra says, "You're my only son." And I thought that was really sad, and I realized that Cobra actually cares for him a bit, although in the backstory parts that doesn't show. So maybe it seems like a big change, but if you really think about it, maybe she had time to think about Ghibli. Maybe she had time to think about what she did was wrong, but I don't know why she thought that about Sirocco and Rattlesnake. Maybe she realized that they were just horrible people or horrible dragons. And yeah, so now we're going to talk about the whole Vulture and Onyx subplot. Let's be real, it made no sense. I mean, it made sense, but there was no way they were going to succeed. Like, they had so many ambitions. There's one part where Vulture says that he wants to kill Queen Glory, and I was like, what are you even doing? What is your plan? Why are you backing up this random dragon and like Onyx, and how are the Towns of Power gonna fight? And he was a disappointing villain. There was no way they were going to succeed. Thorn wasn't getting overthrown, and she did accept a challenge from Onyx, which I thought was weird, but Thorn was not getting overthrown. And just a side note here, From reading the books, there are some points where a queen gets challenged and they say, I accept your challenge. Or when Darkstalker challenges Glory, she says, sorry, Darkstalker, but I can't accept your challenge. So if a queen wanted to keep the throne, they could just say, I can't accept your challenge every time, and kabam, they have the throne for life. Well, I don't know if they're allowed to do that, but from what I've read, it seems like they can. This was a great book, though. Even though I didn't like that subplot, there was so much action. It was really, really interesting. And another thing about Vulture, back to Vulture, I was Kibbley so afraid of him. You never see him doing anything that mean. I don't think you even ever see him killing anyone. I mean, he does. He has those skull tattoos and one tattoo for every dragon that he killed. But you never see him killing anyone. Heck, in the Kibbley backstory parts, Cobra was meaner to him than Vulture was. It didn't really make that much sense to me, but I guess he must have a reason, because when he goes to face Vulture, he's thinking, I wish I could face Darkstalker, I wish I could face Scarlet, I wish I could face Burn, I wish I could face any other dragon except for him. And that's really weird, because we know that those dragons did terrible things, but I wonder what Vulture must have done. It's interesting. And now it's time to talk about the ending. Okay, let's get into this. So I really thought the ending was going to be a whole big battle and a big epic battle. And there was a battle, but it wasn't fleshed out, and you didn't get the perspective with somebody inside the battle. It seemed like they were just watching the battle and being like, okay, they're fighting now, cool, it happens every day. And yeah, it was kind of anticlimactic for me. I mean, I don't know, I wanted it to be a really cool fighting scene, but I guess that's just how it was. I don't like Peacemaker. I don't like Peacemaker at all. Said it, I don't like him. Now I'm gonna explain why I don't like Peacemaker. They mess with his head. They literally lay out his whole life for him. They change his memories. They change everything about Darkstalker. They tell Darkstalker, it's not okay to mess with people's heads. Now we're gonna mess with your head. I don't get it. I don't know why they did that to him. It was a creative decision instead of killing Darkstalker, but I don't like what they did to him. I really don't like it. Instead, I feel like they should have made Darkstalker shrink to the size of a normal dragon his age, make all of his animus spells be undone, not in the timeline, but just from this point forward, they would all be undone, except for the Dream Visitors, because they use the Dream Visitors. Take away his animus magic, and take away his mind-reading power and his seer powers. And I don't know, I don't really want to take away his memories of clear sight. I don't, because that would be bad, because they're taking away his memories and they're messing with his head, but it's really sad. It was really sad for him. It was just... Darkstalker Legends made me cry. It was such a sad book. I was in tears from that book. But, yeah, I'd let him keep his memories of clear sight. I mean, he would still have ambition, but he wouldn't really be able to do anything. He would live in the rainforest, and maybe he would tell people that he was Darkstalker. Maybe the only thing they could do is take away his ability to tell anyone that he is Darkstalker. Maybe that would work, and maybe change his appearance a bit, like maybe take away his ice wing scales and just change him up a bit so that he doesn't look like Darkstalker, and he can live in the rainforest with Folkslayer, and it's kind of the same idea, but without them messing with his head. And then we would still have Darkstalker, and the fact that Darkstalker, his whole personality was gone, made me really sad. And Peacemaker, his whole life was laid out for him. He couldn't make any changes. As soon as he ate the strawberry, that was it. His whole path, everything was laid out for him. He could never change it. It was like, this is the path that you're going to follow, and you have to follow it. And of course he didn't know that, but I don't like it. Folkslayer's new name, Hope. Hope. Folkslayer, she went through so much, and the best name, Hope. Seriously, Hope. You could give her any other name, like something that describes all that she's been through in Hope. Alright. Cool. Interesting. That's cool. Hope. Okay, now we're going to talk about the epilogue. And we know that there's a Lost Continent, but when I'm making this review, the Lost Continent book already came out, so I'm not going to really talk about how there's a Lost Continent. It's amazing, guys. There's going to be new dragons. Moonblee is canon. I don't know. Moonblee is cool. Winter Watcher was interesting too. Winter was a jerk to her, but I mean, maybe Moon could have helped Winter work out his emotions somehow. I don't know. I can see good and bad sides to Winter Watcher and to Moonblee, so I'm good with Moonblee being canon. It's interesting. It's nice that Moon finally chose, or she could have just said, I'm not ready for a relationship right now. That would have been cool too. And then Jerboa. I have a theory about Jerboa. I think Jerboa 2 is actually Jerboa, because we know that she's an animus. She never actually does tell Moon and Kibley that she's an animus, but we know that she is an animus because in Talons of Power, when all the animi, let's go with animi, when all the animi are transported to Darkstalker's throne room, she's transported there too. So maybe she just teleported out of there somehow using her power. I don't know. It's said that it's because her mother enchanted nothing to harm her. That's why she's still alive. But I think that she's just the normal Jerboa. And maybe the reason that she's told that lie is because maybe Jerboa committed some crime. And because everybody knows everything about Darkstalker, Jerboa thinks that everybody knows about some sort of crime or bad thing she committed or done, or I don't know. And she wanted to hide her identity from them. So, yeah, maybe that's why she decided to do that. I don't know. It's just a little theory that I have. It's kind of a bit developed, but it's not a super developed theory. Anyway, let's finish this review. Honestly, I really liked the book. There were some parts that weren't as good as other Wings of Fire books. On an entertainment value scale, it was really, really entertaining, but it had some flaws, and yeah, it did have some flaws, but it was a good book. Action, adventure, it was a good book. It wasn't as good as a lot of the Wings of Fire books. Some of them are far better than this, but it was a good conclusion. Conclusions are always hard. I mean, it was never going to be better than The Brightest Night. The Brightest Night was so good. It was amazing, but I love how everything wrapped up perfectly in The Brightest Night. But yeah, this was never going to be better than The Brightest Night. It was good. It was good. So what do you guys think? You can leave me a comment down below saying if you agree or if you disagree, or if you think something that I have said is wrong, or if it's right, or anything, just anything that you want to say. If you have any comments about this video, comment it down below. That's what the comment box is for. And now I'm going to end this video, so I hope you guys have a good day. And don't forget to leave questions for my upcoming Q&A, any Warriors, Wings of Fire, art questions. Those I would gladly answer them. And goodbye until I post again.